Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SCTV for ScreeningClub.com, where we break down the latest in television entertainment each week for you. I am here again with my two buddies, my brother Chris. How are you doing, Chris?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good, and our good friend Mike. How you doing, Mike?
I'm cold.
You're cold?
It snowed today.
I keep it pretty toasty in here, man.
It's warm in here, but just generally.
Today. Yeah, it's been snowing, too.
It's a cold atmosphere.
It's a little rough in New England.
It's like the wet snow that's like really annoying to shovel. It's no annoying to shovel.
Hey, how was TV watching this week, guys? Mine was a little light.
Yeah, I had a pretty light load myself. Not a whole lot to watch these days in the
TV realm.
The winter months.
There was the big... I'm watched The Walking Dead, so there's the big mid-season finale, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But beyond that...
I mean, DS, of course.
Of course.
Missed DS this week.
Come on.
Beyond that, I went to a sensory deprivation tank this weekend with our good friend Sean.
Oh, my goodness.
Was it just the two of you?
Yeah, it was just the two of us.
Were you in the same tank?
We did meet our other friend for sushi before. But...
Fun little crew.
Can you describe the experience to us, please?
Okay, so place, I won't give out the name. No free advertising. It's a good place though. Anyway, so we go in.
Not good enough to be mentioned.
It's true, they didn't pay us. You go in and it's all like kind of like a spa. You got to take off your shoesies and you got to put on their slippers for you. You go in and then you wait for your time. Then you go into this private room, and it feels like a spa because everything's like warm and like everything's kind of damp because there's water everywhere. Then there's like this white box, this big ass white box. It's probably like 9 feet long and like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 feet wide. And the whole deal of it is that when you get inside that box, the water, there's 11 inches of water with like 600 pounds of Epsom salt absorbed in it, so it's a higher salt saturation than the Dead Sea, so you're super buoyant in it. Wow. And it's they called it skin neutral, I think was the term, the temperature of the water. So after a while, you don't feel the water, so you just feel that you're floating in air, and it's completely black, pitch black, and you have earplugs in, and there's no sound, and you just it's kind of like meditation. You just what happens to you, it's all about you from there on.
So you, close yourself into a giant box?
Hell yeah.
Did you experience anything?
Both Sean and I experienced things. Both Sean and I experienced positive things that happened in the tank. I won't go too far. It's a little personal, what happened in the tank.
But you two talked about it.
Yeah, we had a little heart-to-heart afterwards.
Because you're both special now because you've done the sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah, well, Sean and I are kind of we're into heightening our consciousness, sort of stuff like that,
Is that
right? It's good to do, yeah. It's good. It's fun to do. Sean got a Groupon for it, so it was cheaper than it normally would be.
How much was it, may I ask?
I think it was 48, 40 something.
And how long do you stay in there?
It was an hour, but you could get an hour and a half as well.
You were in the tank for a full hour?
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. So it's super salty, like crazy salty, so if you get it anywhere in your eyes or if you have cuts or anything, they give you Vaseline, special Vaseline that you're supposed to put over cuts. So it hurts like hell if it gets in your eyes. So right outside the tank, there's a fresh water spray bottle that you're supposed to spray in your eyes if it gets in your eyes. I had an itch on my eye, 15. I didn't know how long I was in the tank for. Got in my eyes, so it hurt like hell. So I got out for a second. I do a little spray, get it off. Then I checked the time because I wanted to make sure that my phone's alarm, not an alarm, but it was silent. And I'd only been in there for 15 minutes. I was like, man, that felt really long. And then when I got back into the tank, I zoned out and it flew by like crazy. And all of a sudden they play a little music to get you out of it. And it'd been an hour.
They play a little music?
That's how you know it's done. They slowly, really softly play some soothing music to let you know your time's up. You take a shower and you're done.
Do they drain this tank?
Yeah, so it's filtered after every float. I call them floats. After every float,
the lingo.
Yeah. After someone floats, it's filtered 3 times, and then they use UV light to kill any bacteria, and there's one other thing that they do.
Bleach.
I don't know about bleach.
Sure, I bet they had to especially hose it down after you were done with it.
Maybe. We were the last of the night.
You and Sean probably brought bed bugs into the facility.
Mm.
It's probably a multi-week thing now.
Maybe.
They're both just congratulating each other on their higher consciousness while the manager's having to shut down.
Well, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to talk too much about this, but it's kind of it's normally viewed as like layers of your consciousness is like layers of an onion. And the first time you float, you're just peeling off that first layer. So you're really not getting anywhere. You're beginning this journey. So
to be continued.
Yeah, nothing too crazy happened, but
so you're sort of like the cliche college student who's taken one psychology class and now you feel like you can impart your wisdom upon all of us.
I'm not imparting any wisdom. I had a good time, and I think that people should go and see if it works for them.
I'm sort of interested.
Hell yeah.
I'm intrigued. I expressed interest in going, but they clearly didn't want me to go with them. So
that's because Mike's not into this sort of stuff.
They just decided that for me.
Yeah, it's sounding a little elite now. You're saying,
and we asked him if he wanted to go, and you couldn't go there on that day.
Yeah, could have moved around some things.
We can't all be there yet.
Hey, God bless.
It's an onion. Even though me and Mike are at 0 onion level, and you're only at 1.
They also have a baby, like a tank
we'll have
for
to catch up one day.
Yeah. Whatever. All right. Yeah, it was
Next
good.
thing you know, maybe we'll come in next week, and me and Mike will have gone several times. Then we'll see who's enlightened.
Sure.
Very cool.
I'd say one last thing. I'd say do your research before you go if anyone's listening, because there's no like one way you're supposed to do this or one like way the company's supposed to work. So everything's a little bit different. So like if you're living in like Colorado or something, your float place could be like completely different and be like shittier than our place was, or much better. So just do your research.
What if you got there and it was like a communal soak tank? There's like a bunch of dudes there.
Well, you are naked in the tank, so
that's why I'm asking.
They're not big. It's not big enough. The tanks aren't big enough.
Well, every place is different, as you just said. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, sure. Yeah, what if, Jeff?
Would you and Sean have gone through with it?
No.
I'm saying. So that
I don't want to speak for our good friend Sean, but
consciousness is not worth a communal thing.
Well, it's because you'd be the whole thing is that sometimes you'd be like I'd be floating, and then again I don't want to talk too long about this. I'd be floating, and then like I'd be zoning out, and I'd be like, oh man, I feel like this crazy thing is happening, and then I'd hit the side of the tank, and I'd be like, oh, I'm knocked out of it, right? If you were in a communal float, I feel like there'd be too much. The whole thing is you're supposed to be deprived of all your senses. If you were in a communal float, you'd have too many senses going on. You'd be like, oh, this guy's over there. This man's splashing over there. This man's like he's clearly having a vision over there. I can't concentrate.
This man is rubbed up against my leg over here.
Yeah. You need to be alone. That's like part of the business.
Okay. Well, it sounds very interesting. I'm glad you both enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good ass sushi too in that area.
We're not allowed. Are you going to say the name of the sushi place?
I don't even remember the name of the sushi place.
If you want any sort of spoken endorsement from Chris, you better be paying.
Hell yeah.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You can't just speak good about places based on their merits.
Hell yeah.
Okay, hell yeah is the quote the quote of the night.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like above this all right now. So
great.
I mean, I don't really even know what you're saying.
Anything good happened to you this week, Mike?
Yeah, what's up, Mike?
No, I'm a plain Jane. Don't really do too many exciting things, especially with my friends. Go and experience higher levels of consciousness without me. There's not much else for me to do other than sit alone with my thoughts and contemplate the year in TV, such as we're about to do today.
I just want to mention, maybe next week we might have a special guest. I've been trying to push a special guest on these two, just floating that by on the official podcast. see if I can make it happen. So everyone look forward to that.
We'll see.
You know what happened this week, guys? We had some Golden Globe nominations.
Just this morning.
Let's get these up. Mike, do you
Check it out.
want to read off the pertinent ones for this podcast?
Yeah, I think it just should be stated and understood that the Golden Globes is kind of just a crock of shit. They really have no bearing, very little bearing, I would say, on like actually representing the highest quality of culture.
I've read a lot about the Golden Globes being a crock of shit. You might say the Golden Globes are like the sensory deprivation tank of awards shows.
Okay.
I could see why you might want to say that.
But please tell us, Mike.
But anyways, just a couple of highlights to pluck from some of these nominated categories. I'm looking right now at Best TV Series Comedy. We got all three of our favorites, Atlanta.
Oh, yes.
Veep.
Wow.
Transparent.
Veep, a great one.
Moving down to some of the Best Actor, Actresses categories for comedy. We got Donald Glover.
There you
Julia
go.
Louis-Dreyfus, Rachel Bloom, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Jeffrey Tambor, of course, for Transparent. Now I'm looking at Best TV Series for Drama. Westworld, one of our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Things, Game of Thrones. Really surprised nomination for This Is Us show. I like quite a bit.
Is that a surprise? You've been talking it up.
I feel like it's lost some steam.
It's a really good show. I don't know if I'd call it
like critically
Best TV Series nomination worthy.
Yeah.
And my screen is not loading. There we go.
It's gone.
Best Actor in a TV Series, Bob Odenkirk of Better Call Saul, Matthew Rice, The Americans, Army Malek, Mr. Robot. Happy to see that. Evan Rachel Wood, Westworld, Kerry Russell, The Americans, Winona Ryder, Stranger Things. Chris, anything you liked out of these nominations?
I obviously love Donald Glover going out of there. Once again, it's just like, the Golden Globes, they're not. It's Hollywood. It's the Hollywood Foreign Press, right? That does the Golden Globes.
Yeah, so it's just like some arbitrary selection
some nebulous
of
organization.
foreign journalists who gather around to throw this big party to get as many big name celebrities into one room at a time. And the telecast itself is always fun to watch. Well, probably a lot more entertaining than say the Oscars, but just the actual credibility of the award,
the prestige of the award.
Ceremony is not high. But it's always worth noting whenever.
And these are the people that gave The Big Bang Theory so many awards in the past.
Well, the Emmys also loves The Big Bang Theory as well.
Yeah, both of them.
The industry loves Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, which I cannot abide.
Yeah.
So, God bless to them. And I hope Donald Glover wins in Atlanta.
Anthony Hopkins didn't get anything?
He did not get nominated, which
he would be for supporting, right?
What I would call a snub.
Yeah, it's with these big HBO shows. There's so many supporting characters in them that are worthy.
He gave an outstanding performance, Chris.
He did.
He certainly did.
What do you think, Jeff?
What do I think?
Yeah,
any
specific thoughts about the Globes or these nominations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see that Atlanta was there. Of course, Game of Thrones. I'm interested. Would either of you have nominated Westworld?
I would not have known.
I would have, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Mike, what are some examples of what you would have liked to see there instead of what Westworld? You son of a bitch.
As far as TV drama is concerned,
yep.
The Americans I would have nominated.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that there?
The Americans was not nominated. Orange is the New Black I would have happily nominated. Mr. Robot.
Over Westworld?
Yeah.
There's definitely an argument to be made there.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Well, I'm happy to see it there.
Well, we'll see who wins. It's going to be... Who's hosting this year? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Can we
Jimmy Fallon?
Let's do a live fact check. Something that we never do.
And while Chris is doing that, I'll just say...
I've forgotten who's hosting.
Blackish? I didn't think that was a good show. I see it's nominated.
It's very popular.
Is that...
Blackish
is it good, do you think? No, you haven't seen it?
No, I've heard really good things. I've never watched it, though.
Breaking news, it is Jimmy Fallon. Mike was right.
Wow.
Jimmy Fallon, everyone. Perfectly okay host.
Yeah, I'll do a good job.
Sure.
That'll be good. All right, very cool. We'll be looking forward to that. We'll talk more about it, right?
Yeah.
Chris, I'm not sure. You seem to be in some sort of altered mental state after this tank visit, but can you give us a quick hit on The Walking Dead?
Yeah, so the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, that's the AMC special, is breaking up the season in two. If you want to know my full thoughts, full spoiler-filled thoughts, I review every episode on ScreeningClub.com. You can go check it out. This episode was called Hearts Still Beating. And it's kind of... Just in general, I'll say it's kind of like getting the gang back together, man. It was alright.
Was it your favorite episode of the season?
I'd say it was my favorite episode of the season, but it's one of those things where it's a mid-season finale, so it obviously leaves on this big high note. That is kind of a cliffhanger, and it could go one of two ways. And if the past of The Walking Dead is any signifier, it's going to go the bad way and not be a good show. But I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hopeful.
Let me just say this: I'm not sure Evan Rachel Wood deserves this Golden Globe.
I think she does.
I think she did great work.
The
extreme...
Well, I guess...
She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, Thandie Newton.
Why can't Anthony Hopkins get it then?
Well, these hosts have such a hard acting job, because they literally have to tailor how much humanity they have in them at any given moment when they're acting.
Yeah.
Which must be extremely hard and taxing to act.
I think Maeve did the best job of that. You could see it in her eyes a lot.
Deservingly so, was nominated.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins is just an old man.
So the truth comes out. You think he's just an old man.
Chris, show some respect.
He anchored the show, actually,
I
Chris. Do you agree that he anchored the show, Mike?
Yes.
He anchored the show. Now, it's time for the heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah.
We know you've been all waiting one full week for this. Today, we have prepared once again, at the behest of Mike, our top 10 TV shows of the year. That is, the seasons that occurred this year.
Yes.
Seasons that were in 2016, our top 10. So we'll do same sort of thing we did last week. Let's all get our lists out here. Now, as Mike mentioned several times before we started recording, he has what honorable mentions.
Yes.
Don't you as well, Jeff?
No, as I mentioned, I was going to, but then I didn't because I realized I hadn't watched the TV show in 2 seasons.
Okay. Since we've had that conversation, I've thought of a show that could be an honorable mention, so I have one as well.
Go for it.
My honorable mention is Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Which Mike started but didn't finish.
Correct.
It's a nice change of pace to the kind of low level of the Marvel universe that's on these Netflix well, it's all in the same universe, but on this Netflix produced series level. It's kind of showing a different side of it, and that series changes like probably a third of the way through. It's not what you really think it is. Give it a chance.
Is that the one about the strong guy that you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't finish that, Mike?
No, I never really pursued it after the pilot that I watched.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to the Defenders.
Mike, honorable mentions?
Yeah, so it was a struggle for me to figure out really the bottom portion of my list. You could really cycle any number of these shows in or out with probably my number 9 and 10 that I have here.
Sure.
That I will unveil in a few moments. But just as far as honorable mentions go, I would say Veep, Transparent, The Good Place, This Is Us, The Night Of, and Westworld. And I could go on. And I'll also throw this one out there as well. Girls. Girls had a great season.
Wow.
This past year. But those were my honorable mentions. Now to
To our
top 10
tens?
lists.
So we're going to do this like we did last time. We'll do a snake draft style. Jeff, you want to go first?
Sure, if you'd like me to.
I do.
Okay, my number 10 takes place in an alternate universe.
Alternate from our own?
Alternate from our own, or should I say alternate universe might not be the correct word, like a alternate reality.
Parallel or dimension?
In which the Capitol has been attacked.
I was about to say in which Kiefer Sutherland is president.
And this is a legitimate pick at number 10.
Because it's the 10th show you watched this year.
Because I was really struggling to get together 10 shows. And I liked it, Designated Survivor. It's been getting worse, although it picked up a little bit this week. And it's entertaining, so
Yeah, I'd give it that. If you don't want to think too hardly about really anything that goes on in front of you, if you just want to sort of shut off your brain for an hour and literally not contemplate anything that the show has to offer, there's something to enjoy.
that's a little bit insulting because I was looking on Metacritic at DS, has a 77.
Do you know what episodes those review?
The whole season.
Okay. Because I know sometimes screeners are only given like the first 3 episodes.
Typically, those Metacritic scores are just based off the pilot, the premiere episode.
Like if you go look back,
It has gone steadily down.
hey, Jeff said no, so you're definitely wrong about that.
Anyway, know what? If they, when it comes back for season 2, if they cut a little bit of the fat,
Sure.
I think it could be a solid show. So,
Cool.
DS number 10.
Fair enough.
All right. On to me. My number 10, Black Mirror.
Ooh.
Is that on your list anywhere?
No.
Oh, okay. On my list because, well, one of the things, I like, obviously, San Junipero, I felt was one of the best, as you heard last time.
Did you watch all 6 chapters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you?
I haven't watched them all.
There's
No.
as with all Black Mirror, there's a range of quality within them, but I felt like the season as a whole was pretty. It's up there with other seasons of Black Mirror. Some of the episodes that I liked, other people didn't seem to like as much, which is probably why it's on my list and not on yours. Did you watch the episode of I forget the actress name? She plays Margaret Schroeder in
No.
Boardwalk. People don't seem to like that episode, but she was awesome in that episode. It's like a buddy cop movie if both of the cops were like British like women. And I thought that was really, really interesting. Yeah. Black Mirror number 10.
Cool.
What's yours?
My number 10, I sort of teased a little bit about it last week. Bates Motel.
All right.
Never a show I thought in a million years would make such a list, because it really has been, in prior years, really average, bordering on just mediocre. But this season it really elevated itself by just narrowing in on really all that the audience ever really wanted from it, and that was to watch the fragile mind of Norman Bates descend into like complete and utter madness. And we finally got that this past season. The performances were completely rose to the level that was required of them to really sell us on this trajectory for Norman Bates. And it was really good, and I hope it can bring that level of quality to its final season next year.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could get such an origin story for all of our psychotic friends, or our more, our more character friends? I would love to have such a story. There's a couple of our group of friends that I'd love to have a
like our personal friends.
What? Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Our personal friends. Yes.
Is that show?
Maybe one of them will join us next week.
Yeah, maybe. Is that show ending? Like, does it have like
next year? Is its final season? Okay. They finally sort of caught up to, I would say, the time period of the Psycho original Psycho film. So they're going to introduce the character of Marion Crane, who was famously murdered in the opening act of the movie Psycho.
Wow.
She's going to be played by Rihanna.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
So we found love.
Yeah.
Huh?
We found love.
Yeah.
In a hopeless place.
Yeah, we got it, Jeff. All right.
He didn't get it. I was explaining it to him.
Are we snaking?
Yes, we are snaking. So, Mike, on 9.
Okay, my number 9. Mr. Robot.
Wow.
That on your list?
Yes.
Nice.
It is. I won't say what number.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mr. Robot. For season 1, was exceptional. I think I had it much higher last year than I do here. This season wasn't without its kinks, its flaws.
For sure.
Certain aspects of it just didn't work at all. But I thought there was enough there of just superior quality to just really captivate me on a week-to-week basis. Everything involving Elliot and sort of that civil war that took place within his mind and Mr. Robot was terrific. I thought all the introduction of the Dom character and her investigation into the hack was really cool. The heavy influence of Angela. So yeah, a lot really worked for me. I still really love the show, even if there was a noticeable dip from season 1. But yeah,
for sure.
I've never seen the show, and I remember you guys complaining about Dom, about the hack.
About the hack.
Do you remember that she didn't get enough training? I believe?
That's not Dom.
Okay,
that's another female.
That's Angela.
That's Angela.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, if you wanna hear a lot more of our feelings about the second season of Mr. Robot, one of our first episodes is
first.
There you go. Is us spoiling the entire season and just discussing it.
But you get a spoiler alert.
You get a very clear spoiler alert. Yeah. I totally agree. There's a lot of parallels with Fight Club in the first season of Mr. Robot, except where Fight Club ends, kind of leaves off. Like, you don't know how the world would react to that, and Mr. Robot kind of takes up that mantle, and I think does a good job in showing how, like, the world would generally react to such a insane situation going on. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that was good.
All right.
Chris, lay it on us.
Number 9. Orange is the New Black. I've had a tumultuous relationship with Orange is the New Black. And when I was cobbling together this list, I felt like this season of Orange is the New Black I did not like last season at all, and this season kind of brought it back to me. And I thought, I can't really remember what all happened this season, to be perfectly honest, except for the standout episode that you talked about last episode of our podcast. So I feel like it's back in my good graces a little bit, but only at number 9. What did you feel?
It is on my list.
I'm sure it's on
but I would like to save my discussion of it for when
right.
we arrive at it.
All
That's
right.
totally. That's not how we've been doing it, Mike.
I understand.
This tells me that it's very high on Mike's list. Because we're going to be waiting a while. All right, fine, Mike. We have it your way.
Fair enough.
9, Jeff?
9. My number 9 takes place in an alternate reality
Sensing a pattern.
Again?
where Téa Leoni is Secretary
boy.
of State. And I know for all of you fans out there, this might be big because I've listed Madam Secretary ahead of DS. Reason being, a lot of the secondary things in Madam Secretary are a lot cleaner than DS right now. DS, I think we can all agree, the basis is there, but there's a lot of shit we have to siphon through to get to the good stuff. Madam Secretary is pretty cool show, and there's just some I enjoy watching it, and I like Téa Leoni. You guys have any thoughts on Madam Secretary?
I've never seen a second of that show, so I can't really comment.
And yet
But
you watch DS.
What?
You watch
Yeah,
DS?
but that has Kiefer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, I've never watched it. Don't have.
I'm happy you enjoyed
solid
it, though.
feelings on it. Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Glad for you. What's your number 8, Jeff?
This one might be another "We're happy for you, Jeff" type show. My number 8 is a show that I feel always has, and I'm sorry that I keep giving these little like preambles to the shows, but I feel it gives a little build up that, frankly, your guys, when you say your shows, it doesn't have. This show
We'll have to work on that.
always has a level of quality year in and year out, and I love this show. I really love it, although I believe it is considered a reality show.
Oh.
And that show is Hard Knocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Very
Okay.
well done show, and I love football, and I love seeing behind the scenes. And I think it's also really impressive that they clearly, put it together week to week.
It's true.
Yeah, definitely.
And we get to see behind the scenes, and that's a show that I really love.
I'm not a real Hard Knocks head for no real reason. I just
Hardhead,
I
they
just
call us.
never watch it. But
Chris, you're a
I've
hardhead?
always heard great
Oh, yeah.
things.
Yeah, it's really well done. Ray Donovan does the voiceover for it, which is pretty cool. He's crossing the aisle, working for HBO. Yeah, it really shows the skill that NFL Films really has, where they can just literally, like, alchemy, like, just make this story, just squeeze this story
true.
out of
Yeah.
this training camp every year. And there is something to be said of, like, every training camp has the same ups and downs and the same general story of, like, here's these likable rookies that are free agents that that are right on the edge of making the 53 and not making the 53-man roster, and will they make it, will they not? And there also is a complaint to be made that because of the way I know I'm shitting on Jeff's
No,
pick,
please.
but the way that the NFL and HBO have, like, laid these ground rules as to which team gets picked for Hard Knocks, it basically means only shitty teams get picked for Hard Knocks. Like, the Browns were supposed to do it, but then
You're never going to see our New England Patriots.
like, I
starring
think
in
if you were
Hard
in
Knocks.
if you were in the playoffs,
never see
you
it.
don't have to be you're out of the running for Hard Knocks for at least 3 years. And like, if you get a new head coach, you're out of the running for a certain amount of time, unless a team wants to do it, then they can do it. Like, I think that's how Rex Ryan did it twice.
Chris, ironically, sitting here in a New York Jets t-shirt.
Sure. Anyway, despite these problems, and how I'd really love if there was actually, like, a good team next year, it's just, I love football, and I love the stories that football...
Is that on your list, Chris?
No, it's not.
You had a lot to say about it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to,
You didn't think of it.
to wax poetic about Hard Knocks, but it happened.
I think, as a lover of football, being able to see like how the coaches work and just, being able to see in the office when they're planning things, when they're going over game plans, when they're having to cut people and stuff like that. It's very cool. Mm-hmm. And Chris, I don't think that the reality of life, like that sometimes people are on the edge of making the cut and stuff, I don't think that that's a negative thing. It's just, it's part of telling a story, and it's different every year. You get the different characters every year, and it's always a different dynamic. And Game of Thrones, great show. Chris, number 8.
All right.
Game of Thrones.
Number 8.
Hard Knocks.
I was wondering.
I thought Jeff was making like a meta joke there. He's trying to hit some different levels of humor.
Well, I think Game of Thrones is on. Game of Thrones is a really good show.
All right, so number 8 on my list, Stranger Things.
Ooh.
Stranger Things is number 8 on my list because I liked it a lot, but not as much as everyone else seemed to like it. I assume it's much higher on both of your lists.
It's high on my list. Jeff, is it on your list?
Stranger Things?
Yep.
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay, so I liked it a lot. I loved the great acting from the kids. But where it kind of failed for me is sometimes it would just be like, here's this 80s thing, and then that's all they would do.
I think that's kind of a lazy criticism.
I think it's lazy for the show to do that.
I think it's easy for people to say that, but I feel like every time they kind of steered towards that sort of 80s nostalgia that was a surefire thing that everyone would love, it was always backed up, though, by like really strong writing, character work, and it wasn't just nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. There was like a real emotional weight, dramatic weight behind it. So that's why it always worked for me.
Well, I'm happy you feel that way, Mike. But I did
Chris,
not.
also,
Jeff?
I think the adults did a great job too. Winona Ryder. Well, you only mentioned the
I'm just
kids.
saying. Specifically, it's really hard to get kid acting, and they did.
The kid acting was really like the best I can remember seeing in anything.
And how was the adult acting, Mike?
The adult acting is terrific as well. Winona Ryder and
David
Harbour, actor who played Hopper.
David
Harbour, terrific.
Hey, him and
the teenage acting too from the two main.
Sure, the acting
characters.
Wasn't the problem for me.
Can you imagine
I don't know why we're talking so much about it.
if they landed those kids for the kids in DS? We'd be at a whole new level.
Well, the general saying with child acting is that it's all about the director, and like if you have good child actors, it's because the director knew how to direct them properly. And so I bet if they got those kids for DS, whatever shitty director is directing DS from week to week would do his dirty business and ruin their careers.
Suddenly they'd morph into the son from the Strain quality.
Yeah.
Sorry, whoever both of you were.
Hey, no, don't talk about the Strain yet. We're going to be talking about the Strain a little bit later.
Oh no.
You think I put the Strain above DS on my list, Chris?
I don't know. Who knows?
Mike, number 8?
Yep. Number 8 for me, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I just love that show so much. I love that it is like 4 or 5 different things all packed into one.
Never seen it.
It's an extremely funny just show unto itself, but it also has the workplace comedy side of it. It has this terrific romantic comedy side of it. It's also a great character study with this character, the crazy ex-girlfriend, played by Rachel Bloom at the center, who is just a complete nightmare of a human being and has really like psychological and emotional issues that she's grappling with. That's really interesting, and it's also just this really terrific musical. In each episode, like I've mentioned before, features 2 or 3 completely original songs, music videos, and just that it's able to do all those things at such high a level is just a real testament to the creative team behind it. It's a great show.
And as we know, Mike loves belting out those tunes in his car.
I love the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend soundtrack. That has occupied many a car ride.
Is it catchy tunes?
A lot of catchy tunes. I would highly recommend checking it out.
Nice.
Very cool. Chris, have you seen it?
No.
Wow.
First season is on Netflix. Chris?
Good pick, Mike.
Okay.
Chris, let's hear yours.
Wait, no, Snake Trap, Mike.
Oh, yeah, Mike number
7.
Number 7. Sorry, Mike.
Number 7. I may be spoiling a show that's higher on your guys' list, but here it
I've
goes.
done that twice.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
He loves doing this. This is what he's all about, is putting it... If I only could see Mike's list and then I could put, like, as an honorable mention his number 1, I would do it. Because you know.
What?
Okay, anyway.
What does that even mean?
You enjoy... I think you think Game of Thrones is better than where you've listed it, but you don't want to be in the norm. That's what you want.
Absolutely not.
The norm.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Even though you said...
Let
You
the
said
man
before
speak.
you said this, that ours...
Because
that
I know
we're
you
gonna have it
guys.
higher.
I know you guys love it.
Yeah.
Or this past season, you loved it a little bit more than me. I had issues with this season.
Okay.
That said, I think when Game of Thrones is at its best, it is easily the very best show on TV. Maybe very best. It's fine. You stack its finest episode up against any episode ever made in the history of TV, it will fare very well. This season's 3 best episodes were amazing. The Door, Battle of the Bastards, and The Winds of Winter. Certain moments in those episodes were jaw-dropping. There were some issues that I had with it. I think there were some definite lulls in the middle. There were some subplots and character arcs that were sort of integrated clumsily into the main story that didn't really service the cohesiveness of the main show all that well. Primarily, Arya's arc I thought was kind of a disaster this season. So that's why I don't have this season as high as I would have liked, because there was kind of clunky in spots.
You think Crazy Ex-Girlfriend did a better job with those kind of
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend I have at number 8. Game of Thrones number 7. So gotcha there.
Okay.
Answered his own question.
But it was a really
You know
great,
what I mean.
it was
you
a
son of
great
bitch.
season. It's on my top 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we're here to discuss.
But this season of Game of Thrones,
just throwing down.
This season of Game of Thrones has, as we mentioned last episode, one of the greatest battle scenes of all time in the season.
Yes.
And I think that we reached. I'm not like fighting you right now. I'm just saying my feelings of why I like this. You don't have to defend everything you're saying. This season did a really good job of like either starting the final path of characters or kind of bringing an end to certain characters in a very satisfying way. And I think it sets up it kind of toppled the first domino in this big chain of dominoes, and we're going to start seeing like the effects down the line coming a lot faster than we're normally ready for in Game of Thrones. Yeah. What did you think of this season of Game of Thrones, Joe?
I think it was the best season. What season did you like better, Mike?
Of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
My favorite season? I would probably put 3 or 4 as the best. I thought it was a lot better than last season. I didn't even have last season in my top 15.
Like, this season had 3 of the best television episodes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be.
When it's great, there's nothing better.
But you didn't feel the rest of the episodes were trash, right? Like, they weren't as good for Game of Thrones.
I didn't say that.
But enough to bring it down?
Jeff, I asked you how you felt about this season of Game of Thrones, and you started questioning Mike again.
No, I opened up with, I think it's the best season of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
I think that it was really good, especially considering they had to go off the book. They had all these seasons where they were like, had the book to guide them. And now they're having to deal with a lot of...
Well, they knew what was going to happen, though.
These elaborate storylines, and now they don't have the book to go off of.
They still have
George.
the guidance, though. The overarching template, probably, that George has laid out for them. But yeah, there was a lot more freedom in the way they told the story this season, and I think that was apparent.
Mm-hmm.
For good or for bad.
Yeah.
I think it was the best season, and maybe I'll explain more later if I have it in my list.
I look forward to it.
Okay. Number 7 for me. The People versus O.J. Simpson. I know this is probably on your list. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, are you thinking about watching this now that we've gushed about how much we like this show?
Well, I did watch the first episode, and I really liked it.
Yeah, it's this show also signified for me like a me liking Ryan Murphy again, because he was really down the dumps for me. I wasn't trusting his judgment as much as I've had in the past, and it really was kind of refreshing to see something that he created that really was of quality.
I'll tell you why. Not sorry to cut
No,
it.
please.
But I think what Ryan Murphy did so well in his development of this show is that he got the hell out of the way. He wasn't involved in the creative process of the show.
Stuff.
He didn't receive a single writing credit. But what he did do enormously well was, first of all, he was the reason the show probably got on the air in the first place. He was instrumental in casting. Like, anytime you see Sarah Paulson involved in really anything these days, it's with Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy
giving his go
right
ahead
behind it. But he's just so great at gathering talent around him and sort of unleashing that.
And making them have passion.
And he
for
also
a project.
served as a director in several episodes, and I think he's a really talented TV director. So he did a lot of great things. Big props to Ryan Murphy.
Yeah. Did you see that that HBO movie he was worked on? Was it good? The Something Heart, I forgot.
The Normal Heart?
Normal Heart, yeah.
Yeah, but the AIDS crisis? Yeah, that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I think I'll watch that. Yeah, just great season television. It really does a really good job encapsulating this really, I just said really like 5 times, this extremely complicated case.
Mm-hmm.
And at this complicated time, and it really showed how people kind of felt about it at the time, and it was really, now I'm very cognizant of how many times I'm saying really. It was,
really cognizant.
Yeah, I'm really cognizant of it. It was unprecedented at the time, this kind of case, and it shows in that show, and they do a good job framing it in sort of what it would have been like for people. Also, Ross from Friends, man, doing good job, doing good work.
The acting
doing good
was
work.
So great.
I know.
Sarah, all the way down. Sarah Paulson, Courtney B. Vance, Sterling K. Brown, John Travolta, even, and everyone brought their A game.
And I feel like that show critically was like almost made fun of or like mocked. Like people were like, "Oh, it's good if you just almost like DS,
like guilty pleasure, trash."
Like, if you just want to turn off your mind and just watch like crazy O.J. Simpson show, but no, it's like there's actual quality television.
I think at first that was sort of the attitude behind it, but people eventually caught on. Probably after the Marsha episode, people realized like this was really something special. And just to harken back to something you just said, I thought it was just so great how they were able to breathe new life and energy into this like very familiar, iconic court case, and the way they presented it was so fresh and exciting, and it's on my list. It's a little bit higher, but I think I've said mostly all I need to say.
But I will say I am scared of season 2. You know about it, right? It's going to be about the
I'm terrified of. I wouldn't even call it season 2 because it.
Yeah,
it's under about O.J. Simpson.
No, it's going to be about. It's like an American Horror Story where each season's about a different crime.
Okay.
Season 2 is about the Katrina crisis, except they're fictionalized storylines
But what
happening in the
what
crisis.
terrifies me about this is I think Ryan Murphy might be a little bit more involved on the creative side.
He's back in it, yeah.
Sounds like it from the 10-second synopsis you just gave me.
They literally should have just done another case. They had to do all this crazy stuff for season 2. Who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
Wasn't the show following, like, wasn't there another O.J. Simpson show that came out, like, very close to the same time?
There was a
ESPN
6-part
documentary.
ESPN documentary.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Which
wonder, like,
originally
how that...
premiered as a film. But
Was it because it's been, like, a special number of years or something?
Yeah, maybe it was an anniversary or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching that.
So what's yours, Jeff? Your next one?
So this would be my number 7, right?
Yeah.
My number 7 comes from the creator of one of my favorite television shows, but that television show is off the air, and the creator of one of my favorite movies ever. And that is Mike Judge, Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Wow, yeah.
Now, I love Mike Judge. King of the Hill is one of my favorite television shows ever. Office Space, another Mike Judge, is just an awesome cult
big
favorite
Beavis and
movie.
Butthead fan?
Beavis and Butthead's okay. Beavis and Butthead's okay, but King of the Hill is really an awesome show. And Office Space, have you guys seen Office Space?
Of course.
Mike?
Never have, no.
Wow.
Never have, never will.
And you say you're a movie buff. Office Space is a really...
Yeah, I've heard good things. Just never got around to it.
Really good movie. I would give it a try, Mike. Silicon Valley, do you both watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't finished this season. I kind of fell off.
It probably would have been in my honorable mentions.
But it's a show I like a lot, yeah.
Hmm?
You're against Mike Judge, I think.
I love Thomas Middleditch.
No, I'm not.
I think it's so cool. You get to see sort of probably a lot of the reality of overnight millionaires, but then also they just get shoved right back in the dirt, and just watching these characters like go from like nothing to everything to nothing is really cool. Also, Chris, that's the name of the main guy?
Yeah.
Great job in that commercial he did too.
Sure, yeah.
That was a very fine line. Was he paid because he's a celebrity for that commercial, or because they didn't make a big deal out of him being a celebrity in that commercial? It was like a Target commercial or something, right?
Are you talking about the one where he's in with Tina Fey?
Yes.
I think that's a Chase credit card commercial. Some sort of credit card commercial.
I hope he got paid as the,
I'm sure he did, yeah.
as a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, all the actors are great in that show too. The guy with the crazy hair, I don't know his name. I think he's
TJ Miller.
He's on another show now, right?
I don't know if he's on another show. He was in Deadpool.
And then the guy that was also in the show with the guy from sorry, I'm forgetting everyone's name. He was in the show where they're servers, like party servers.
Oh, Party Down.
Martin Starr?
Yeah, is that
Martin
the guy's
Starr.
name? Is a little bit of a weird looking dude.
Party Down is...
Guilfoyle, I think?
Yeah, Party Down is such a... Have you seen Party Down? It's a Starz show.
No.
It's such a hidden gem. Everyone should go watch it.
Oh, yeah, Adam Scott. Right?
Yeah, Adam Scott. It's so good.
That was a good show. I think that's part of why I started watching Silicon Valley, because I remembered him from that show, and I like that show. And now I get to list another show?
Yep. 6.
My number 6 is, I'm not sure you guys have seen this one.
Wow.
Atlanta.
Oh,
All right.
I've seen that.
Do you guys have that listed on your list?
I do.
Yeah, I have it higher.
Me too. Obviously.
Well, I think we all agree Atlanta was a great show.
Yeah, I went in with such high expectations because I love Donald Glover, and he just knocked it out of the park. Couldn't have been happier.
We all got introduced to Brian Tyree Henry.
Yep.
Paperboy.
Paperboy? Oh, well, I had already seen that man. So
I would go as far to call him the breakout character of 2016. I love Paperboy.
Chris, where did you see him?
Vice Principals.
What is that?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
HBO show.
This is the guy that
Danny
you
McBride.
knew from that show?
Yeah, he plays a small supporting role in the second
wow.
half of that season. Sorry, Jeff.
Well, no, if you want me to get into it, I mean, do you really feel that you were introduced to him in that show? Or do you feel like this was his coming out party?
I was definitely introduced to him because
I'm
the
sure
first
you
time
feel
I
like
saw.
you were introduced to him.
Yeah, because first time I saw him.
What did he do in that show? Big role?
Made a good joke.
Oh, great. I think it was so many different setups for episodes, so much cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought was so great and inventive about it, was that just on any given week it could be whatever the hell it wanted to be.
Yeah.
I immediately think back to the BAN episode in which it's just essentially Paperboy, this other woman, and the host on a soundstage panel discussion, breaking down race relations and gender identity. Then that was a hell of an episode. The van centric episode was great as well, or just sort of the more basic episodes where we're just following around our three characters, getting into whatever the hell it is that they do.
It was able to get very deep while also still being, sort of quirky and
Quirky,
different.
surreal.
Yeah. Just real maturity and confidence in the writing and the vision of the show.
And of course, fan
Confidence
favorite
is a good
Darius.
word I would use.
Don't forget Darius.
Darius, of course.
Oh yeah. So hopefully we'll see more of him.
Great
in season
characters.
Yep.
Great characters.
2. All right, so I will move on to
Chris, who was your number 6?
my number 6 was Mr. Robot, which we already discussed. Love
Chris and I are having lots of crossover.
Yeah. All right, so what's your number 6, Mike?
My number 6 is Better Call Saul.
Wow.
All right.
You haven't watched season 2.
I'm on
correct?
Netflix schedule, so when that hits season 2
You
on
better
Netflix,
catch up
I'll watch
before season 3 premieres,
it. Why?
so we can talk about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, sure.
Anyways, I thought this season 1 was great. I thought this season sort of upped the game, though, by sort of really exploring the Breaking Bad prequel side of things a little bit more, involving Mike and his sort of induction into the criminal underbelly of New Mexico. Was great. We sort of went deeper into the backstory and psyche of the Saul character, or as he's known in the show, Jimmy. Kim, I'm sure you recall, plays a bigger role in this season. She was terrific. So just steady improvements over season 1. Really, nothing, no dramatic shift or anything. It was just sort of they just learned what worked and maybe what they could do a little bit better from season 1, and they just brought that into season 2, and the end result was really, really great.
What season is this?
Nice.
Season 2.
Okay. I thought it was a little older.
Nope, season 3 is coming back.
It's a prequel
I think
series.
the premiere date was just announced. I didn't look at what it was. It usually comes back in February. So
Cool.
Good pick, Mike.
Nice.
What's next?
number 5, we already discussed it. The People versus OJ.
All right.
So
I'll move
Chris,
on to my number 5.
5.
Yep. My number 5, Transparent.
Ooh,
I'm sure, is that on your list?
no, it was in my honorable mentions.
Oh, on your honorable mentions.
Just missed the cut.
All right. Joe, is that on your, on your list?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, this season, I thought it was there's an argument to be made that the past seasons were too much about just infighting and bickering and like unimportant like family nonsense, when there's this larger kind of problem, the social problem that could be discussed. I think they kind of addressed that in this season, and this infighting was kind of pushed to the side, and we really got to learn about some of the real problems that go into if you are like the people in this show, if you are transparent. And it really resonated.
Yeah, I like this season probably a little bit more than last, just for its renewed focus on Mora and sort of those trans identity issues that sort of made the show so interesting in the first place. Like, we got a little bit more insight into that aspect of the show, and a little less of all of her children, who can be kind of insufferable in many different ways.
Yeah.
That's sort of the point of the show, is that everyone is sort of just this inherently unlikable, and it's
it doesn't matter, like,
we're supposed to we're supposed to see past that and sort of just it breaks down to like the people at their most raw, fundamental versions of themselves. So it's a really great show.
This show is on my very elite short list of shows I'm really going to watch soon.
Wow.
Really?
Really is.
Well, yeah.
Been looking forward
Happy
to
to
it.
hear it.
Yeah.
Really brisk watch.
Yeah.
Episodes.
Every episode's
you can
only
down
half
that
an
in a
hour.
week.
Okay.
Yep.
Very much looking forward to it.
All right, Jeff, what's your 5?
That was your 5, Chris?
Yep.
My 5, we already talked about Stranger Things.
Okay.
All right. What's your 4?
My 4 features, I think, one of the acting treasures of our country. And I just absolutely love her. Mike already mentioned it, but Veep. Love Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Really, everyone in that show is great. So many awesome characters and the way they play off each other, and just an awesome show. I love every episode of that show.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's another show that just missed the cut for me.
Yeah.
I love this season. I thought it was noticeable in that the showrunner the previous creator showrunner Mano Ainichi left, and a new man came in to run the ship, and I thought that was kind of noticeable, and I didn't love it as much as previous seasons, but overall it still was, like, minute for minute, the funniest show.
Yeah, such snappy dialogue
of any other show on TV.
She is so good.
She's great.
Yeah. She really is great. Chris, was that on your list?
It would have been an honorable mention for sure.
Okay.
And as just an added bonus, as New Hampshireites, there's a lot of great New Hampshire content.
Yes.
New Hampshire focus.
Yeah.
They go to New Hampshire too,
because the only time we're on the map.
Jonah Ryan is congressman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great stuff there.
Yeah, Jonah's
running his headquarters out of Nashua, I believe, right? Yeah. So he would be our congressman.
Yeah, and they make Nashua look not so good. But Jonah's like campaign manager says some really funny, shitty things about
his
New
uncle.
Hampshire. Yeah, about New Hampshire voters.
So much.
We feed what he tells us, Chris. We eat what he feeds us.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
he knows the people in New Hampshire.
He has us dialed in and knows exactly what we want.
Some great New Hampshire stuff in there.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'll just say some of my favorite moments in that show are when she is having a conversation with, like, a member of her entourage and a third person, or a third group of people, and then they will leave the room, and immediately she'll make this, like, completely asshole comment, like, that just completely attacks everything that she just said to them. It happens, like, again and again, and I just love every time it happens, because she'll be having this very, like, what we think of presidential, like, conversation, and then, like, the scene will just shift, and she'll just, like, start the behind the scenes stuff, and it's so funny.
Yeah, I can't wait for that show to come back. And left off in a really interesting place.
Yeah.
There's lots
kind of uncharted territory we're about to move into.
Yeah.
All right, so on to my number 4, Westworld.
Ooh.
Which, did we discuss Westworld, or was that just in the Golden Globes?
We did not discuss
We
it.
didn't discuss it.
All right.
Hasn't been on anyone's list yet.
Was it in your honorable mentions?
Well, was it an honorable mention? Not on my list.
Okay.
I could have
assume
sworn
so.
you mentioned it. No?
I mentioned it, yeah.
Honorable mention.
It's not on my list.
All right, so
okay.
Westworld, I thought, hit enough of those marks for me that it was just so fun every week to just think about what was going on. There's so much to think about every single week. Who's doing this? Who's doing that? On top of that, there's all the discussion of consciousness and free will, which I eat that stuff up. And it a little bit. What are you laughing about?
You're just on a higher level.
Yeah. Well, it kind of scratched a little bit of an itch that The Leftovers does. The Leftovers does it, I think, a lot better of just analyzing and discussing like these big high level concepts. Leftovers does religion and the concept of higher power. But yeah, what did you guys think of Westworld? I know yours is a little higher, yours is a little lower.
I
haven't mentioned it, Chris. I don't know why.
The show, it was a good debut season, and it certainly hit a couple like really high points for me that I was really engaged by, but it didn't do enough for me to really like fall in love with it. I don't think it introduced any like really memorable characters, really like strong three-dimensional characters,
sure.
Which is a huge
stepping
stone for any real great show, for me at least. So that's something to keep an eye on for season 2, if it can sort of move beyond just being like a really intellectually interesting show and more emotionally engaging, I guess.
While it was awesome, I thought it was awesome. I think that season 2 is going to be a lot better because I think that they were sort of forced into like having to, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but like having to produce stuff that would create like people talking about it and a hit show. Like there's all this pressure of it having to be the next HBO show. So they had to do like a certain things. And I think it'll open up a lot more next season. Like I think I read somewhere that I forgot who it was, someone involved with the show said this season was really just the setup for the actual show. Like it doesn't even have any.
The actress who played Dolores, she called it a prequel series to Westworld, which I found was really interesting.
Yeah, the way that they left it, I can't wait.
Well, it is sort of, I think, a prequel to the movies. I think the movie takes place a little bit after this and after the uprising of the hosts. So, yeah. Love that. Can't wait for season 2.
Great stuff.
Mike, what's your number 4? Yeah, 4.
Number 4 for me is The Americans.
Wow.
Which I thought it had its best season to date. As I mentioned last week, just in the way that certain stretches of this season were able to just drive tension and suspense over a prolonged period of time, that it was really able to sort of pay off these like dangling threads that have sort of been hovering around the brink of disaster for really the entire run of the show. Was really finally able to pay those moments off, particularly with the character of Martha, and it just really just sort of further solidified the terrific duo at the center of the show, the married couple, Philip and Elizabeth, and just their relationship and their children and just their family was really center stage more than ever before, and it was really just interesting and engaging, and I really loved it.
Nice.
I know you guys don't watch it, so you can't really
I'm like,
add much to it.
This season is getting so much hype that I've been feeling like I might watch it. A lot of lists I was looking at had it number 1, actually.
Yeah.
Which seems like I might not be far off.
Yep.
So, yeah. Cool. What's your number 3?
Oh, yeah. Number 3. My number 3 is Atlanta, which we already talked to.
All right. Yeah. Very deserving at number 3. My number 3 is Atlanta as well.
Whoa.
Jeff,
Wow.
Number 3.
Back to me so quick. Number 3. Something tells me that's not going to be on either of your lists.
Been saying that a lot tonight.
I don't think I said. I said you guys haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
But this show, I believe, is the funniest show on television right now. And that show is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It is just the best show. It's, not for your guys uppity Golden Globe.
Chris watches that show.
Yeah,
But,
I agree with you. It is the funniest show on television right now. Most likely.
You agree it's the funniest show on television?
Yeah.
Wow.
One of, if not the funniest show on television. But it just doesn't have this, big, themes it's trying to hit. Or like Atlanta does.
That's
why
right.
It stayed off my list. Not dogging it at all. It's one of the funniest shows on television.
It needs to have theme to be a great show.
No, just to be on
There
my
needs
top.
to be more
just to
behind
be on
the
my
funny
top,
jokes.
Just to be on my top 10. Or even just every episode's different,
So it sort of fits with it doesn't have the uppity type stuff. It's just an awesome show.
Sure,
Just a
Jeff,
funny show.
sure. All right.
Well, is that what you mean? It has to have a next level layer?
Not next
To be
level.
on your
Not
list.
next level layer. Just some sort of overarching theme. Just for me personally.
Do you watch that show, Mike?
I don't.
The show that Chris called the funniest show on television? Will you start watching it?
Maybe
Too many episodes to catch up on. I don't think I'll be watching that anytime soon.
How's your West Wing viewing going? Speaking of too many episodes.
Kind of stopped it in its tracks. About 5 episodes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Too many episodes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. What's your number?
Everyone in Always Sunny is so... Know what? Since they've introduced Danny DeVito,
Yep.
it has been unbelievable. I mean, I am dying every episode of Always Sunny.
It's great.
Now, best episode of all the one where they play the board game.
Yes.
Which got called back upon this season.
Chardy McDennis, The Game of Games, might be one of the best episodes of television.
Yeah.
Maybe ever.
What an episode, Mike. You should just watch it. Like Chris said, I guess it's such a stupid show, you can watch it out of order. You could just watch it.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
I think you probably can, yeah.
That is a great episode. Great show. My number 2. Now I know I already listed this at number 10. No, I'm just kidding. Is going to be Westworld,
Cool.
which we already talked about.
Westworld's
Chris,
great.
number
All right.
2.
Number 2. The Night of.
Okay.
Which I was playing around. It's a mini-series, but I thought it still
That
counts.
counts.
Thought it still counts.
That was an honorable mention of mine.
Yeah, all right. So, a extremely detailed, painstaking, and painful look at the justice system in the United States. And it was so well done, shot so well. My boy Chalky White is in it. Everything is all adding up to me loving it. And I thought it ended pretty well. The final payoff might not have been as good as some people were hoping. But it was shot so well. New York looks so grimy in that show. They do such a good job of making New York look so gross in the most fantastic way possible. Did you see that, Jeff?
No.
I think it's only... How many episodes is it?
8, I believe.
8, yeah.
I've seen a whole lot of coming attractions for it.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, I'll give you that. It wasn't. I wouldn't put it really near my top 10, but it was just so visually distinctive, as any show you'll see this year, and it really busted out of the gate. I thought extremely well, especially that pilot episode.
That pilot episode was
it
so
never
good.
really reached that level.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
And I thought sort of towards the back half of the season, it kind of took some really weird, narrative divergence.
Sure, yeah.
But
But I thought,
overall, a really good season.
yeah, all the stuff in there's so many monologues that were so good, so many moments I can point to, and just a final note, I'd really love to see the James Gandolfini scenes that they shot, maybe on like a Blu-ray or something. I wonder if that's some special feature.
John Turturro, though, was
John Turturro was. You can't ask for anything more than he did. He was amazing. But yeah, James Gandolfini shot like the pilot or a lot of scenes before he died for this, and he's actually still the guy who played Tony Soprano.
Yeah, I know.
And he's still credited as an executive producer on the show, because I guess he was.
Well, he kind of like shepherded it into production.
He was crucial.
It was a passion project of his.
This has been in the works for a while, then.
Yeah, supposedly, and it's based off a British show, I think. Altogether,
I would like them to return to it to some degree.
Yeah.
Not really a follow-up of the main story of season 1. Maybe even a completely new story.
Yeah, they could definitely do it.
I would
like
I'd love to spend more time in that world with those writers.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
See what they could cook up.
How'd you feel? What's your number 2?
Number 2, we already talked about Stranger Things.
All right.
And I would like to preface Stranger Things being my number 2 show by saying that I know that it wasn't. I know in my heart of hearts, or maybe not my heart of hearts, but I know, like, intellectually, mentally, that it probably wasn't the second best show to air this past year.
All right. It's your list. It's all right. It's your list.
That show melted my heart in ways few others did this past year. It was the most fun I had watching any show this year. Those 4 or 5, if you count Will, that cast of children were so terrific. They carried so much of the weight of the season, and the adults were terrific as well.
Can't forget about them.
It was just such a smart, like exciting, emotionally rich show that I fell in love with, and yeah, that's why I had no choice but to put it at number 2.
It's a pretty good show.
Yeah, and I love seeing Netflix succeed. So when that came out and like lit the world on fire, I was so happy.
Yeah,
just to have Netflix have like another huge hit on their hands. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Chris, number 1.
No, Mike number 1. Snake Draft.
Oh, I thought he just didn't. He just do.
No, I talked about Night of for
gotcha.
a long time.
Okay.
My number 1 show, everyone. As I sort of teased earlier in the segment, Orange is the New Black.
No.
Yes, I know.
Oh my God.
This was the best season of TV this year. The best Orange is the New Black has ever done, and an insanely great follow-up or improvement upon the past season of Orange is the New Black, which I thought was just good. It really was. It wasn't up to the standards of this show, and just to see it sort of move on from the place that it sort of went to last year of just sort of just more broad, sort of more levity, just a much lighter tone than we were used to revert back to just the heavy stakes drama side of things. And man, did it do that with just I would say the second half of this season was just the most just gripping, essential, just emotionally devastating stretch of episodes the show's ever produced, primarily in that penultimate episode we talked about last week, The Animals, in which
don't say too much because I didn't see it.
I won't say at all what happened, but there was a moment in the episode that I would go as far to say this is the most just devastating of anything I've really ever seen on TV, and just the way it sort of interwove all of it, the various threads of the year into those final stretch of episodes was really impressive, involving the correctional officers and the characters that sort of weren't serviced as well in previous years, like Crazy Eyes and Piper, real return to form for Piper this year. Just everything about it. I won't ramble on about why it was so great. Just take my word for it. It was great.
My number one, you've already discussed, Game of Thrones.
Also my number one.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Did you say, yeah, you said your number two because I'm number one. Yeah, Game of Thrones, I'm just so in love with that world and the way it's going. This season really sets up the final two shorter seasons, and I just can't wait. I just love George R.R. Martin. Just crafted this world to a T. I love it all.
It's the best show on television.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry, not
hey,
sorry.
I won't argue that.
Right up there with Game of Thrones is sort of like if DS was put into a sensory deprivation tank and emerged
and achieved higher level
free
consciousness.
Of the paternity battle and all
there's
these.
some paternity questioning in
That's true.
You know, there was a sensory deprivation tank in Stranger Things.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
It's a pretty significant
It's a good scene.
plot point.
Is that what initially gave you the idea, Chris?
No.
Mike, would you say, which show do you think handled paternity issues better? DS or Game of Thrones?
I think it's an insult to Game of Thrones to even include DS in the same sentence. So I'm not even going to dignify that question with a response.
Hey, which show had the biggest explosion?
Ooh, were there any big explosions? Oh, yes, there was. I would say Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, really?
Oh, yeah.
But the Capitol building's a pretty big building.
I mean, it's no
high sept
section of a city.
No, what? They might be... Game
If
of Thrones bigger.
If the same explosion occurred on DS that occurred in the finale of Game of Thrones, it would have taken out the White House with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, but like the Kings, like they were in the same, like they could watch from the same city.
Yeah, but they were in a different district.
That was like the opposite side of the city.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Yeah, it does put things into perspective when you think about how both of those explosions were handled. Game of Thrones, I think we're in for some of the best stuff we've ever seen coming.
I concur.
I think so. I hope so, for sure.
When Game of Thrones is on week to week, it's like a special event in and of itself every single week. You don't really get that with any other show. Or very few.
Are they all going to be longer episodes now?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't really know too many details about the new season.
Someday, I'm hoping that this will be the season that Game of Thrones elevates itself to the level of ex-girlfriend show.
You never know.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
I think it's just so... I love Game of Thrones so much.
Wow.
Chris can't believe it.
Yeah.
No, Game of Thrones, I mean, I'm just thinking about everything that happened in that show. They're dealing with so much, and it's all, most of it is done so well. Battle of the Bastards.
I will say, this is a knock I have on this season. I wish that, just to end this, just before we end, they made the Children of the Forest all CG in this season. I did not like that.
That was an interesting
That was a weird choice.
Oh no, sorry, other way around.
Yes,
they were CG and they made her a real person.
They really
with prosthetics.
aged them up too.
Yeah,
they
made them
looked
bigger,
drastically different than when we last saw them.
They looked a little bit different from when
I
they
didn't
are in
like
the book.
that,
and I thought it's probably a budgetary thing because they would have had, that character would have had to been completely CGI.
Yeah.
But odd choice.
How is it like? Is there any other show like Game of Thrones where just you're left in like astonishment after the episode? Maybe every episode after episode 1 of DS for different reasons, we're left in astonishment.
I just can't believe.
But like Game of Thrones is just so many episodes just like, what? Like, I don't think any other show just does that on a consistent basis, just does so well with what it's working with that it just leaves you in awe.
Well, I would only
Lost.
say 3 episodes primarily did that this past season, which is still a pretty high number.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true, at least for me.
Lost was pretty good at doing that.
You're talking about you don't have to be
Breaking
one
Bad.
of the greatest episodes in television history to leave you in awe. I think other episodes left me in awe.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
God, wow. So have you guys ever seen another show that left you in awe?
I was
Breaking
if
Bad.
Only those 3 shows.
Breaking Bad.
Only those 3
Breaking
episodes.
Bad, Lost.
Lost.
Even in those series, it's not every episode of the great seasons. I was like,
I heard there was like a submarine in Lost that
didn't you watch all of Lost?
that kept a lot of people in awe. It was like a CGI thing. Do you know what?
Are you pretending like you didn't watch Lost?
I did watch
to ask
Lost?
this question.
Yes,
Lost,
I was sort of pretending to
Lost
ask
was
the question.
okay.
Yes.
That was a good joke. All right, so
Well, I
there
was
was
asking
a
about the CGI submarine.
Lost was on not a big network, so they didn't have a big budget for CGI. All right,
What network was? Is it? Wasn't Lost on ABC?
yeah,
It's a big network.
yeah, but not like a
biggest-
premium cable. Plus, there was like how many episodes a season? Like 16 episodes a season.
Yeah, at that point, 16.
Yeah, so
Lost was pretty good.
not
you know?
a huge budget. So yeah, of course CGI is not going to look the best, Jeff.
Okay, you think that they would spend their budget on stuff like that?
Oh, like sets. They had great sets in that show. Well, this is not a Lost podcast.
It's a
Maybe
TV
one day
podcast.
we'll do a Lost.
Yeah, we'll do a Lost rewatch podcast.
Well, I think I'm happy we could discuss those things because clearly some people were incorrect. I think you've been exposed, and you both know what those points were. And I'm sorry that I had to get a little heated. Now for next week, guys, we've got some special stuff in store.
Oh yeah,
We're going to talk about year in review, just in general, what we enjoyed this year, and what we're looking
The
forward to next year.
TV side of things we'll talk about, but also I think we can get a little into our favorite movies for the past year.
yeah, just general media that
Yeah.
we've liked.
What we've been consuming for media
Yeah,
over
it's the end of
past
the year.
year.
Time for some reflection.
Yep.
I think it'll be good. We'll talk about what we're looking forward to, and we'll talk. These have been fun, rounding out the year, looking forward to next year. There's going to be a lot of good TV next year, guys.
Oh yeah.
Lots of good TV. Now, before we go, Mike, where can we visit you online?
Follow me on Twitter at linguistics_, and read me on ScreeningClub.com. Right after we're done recording here, I'm going to post my corresponding article of top 10 list in written form to the website, and I'll be sharing that on our Twitter page, and I might even throw that on my personal Facebook page. Who knows?
There
It's pretty extensive.
Nice.
There you go. Chris, where can we find you?
Twitter.com/ThatMorris, ThatMorris, and ScreeningClub.com. Check out my Walking Dead reviews.
As always, you can find me on therealjeffmoore.com. I want to remind everyone, please throw us a rate and a subscribe if you like what you're hearing here. We love hearing back from you guys. And if you want to share more of your comments and read more articles, as Mike and Chris have mentioned, we're throwing articles up there, insight. And just to share your thoughts, you can visit us on ScreeningClub.com or send us an email, ScreeningClub@gmail.com. Guys, until next week, we're getting close to the end of the year. Happy watching, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
See ya.
God bless.